I'm Susan from Tarjac. You may know us as the source for the best camo for your guns and bows, but we do so much more. Our custom work with automotive parts can transform any vehicle, our ATVs, sleds, four-wheelers, motorcycles. We've received national recognition for our work with Orange County Choppers, and we are most proud of our partnership with the future servicemen by providing customized helmets for the Army-Navy game. From the national stage to your favorite hunting ground, it's Tarjac.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the CNY Business Connection. I'm Jason Weinstein. Thank you very much for joining us. Coming up on this show, for those workers who can't escape the heat, find out how they try to beat it. Plus our latest edition of Business Connection Classifieds, job postings in and around the area. But we'll begin with the latest in business news from around the area.
Lockheed Martin's offer of employee buyout packages to trim its workforce could include the plant in Owego. Corporate headquarters announced what it calls its voluntary layoff program as part of the company's effort to reduce overhead, while the company noted that there were approximately 6,500 U.S.-based salaried employees eligible for the program. There was initially no specific mention of Owego, but now Lockheed spokesperson Jeff Brown states, while some volunteer layoffs are possible at the Owego site at this time, it is not clear how many employees will opt to participate. While giant corporations like Lockheed continue rounds of hiring and layoffs, New York State is set to receive more than $55 million to encourage small business innovation. Governor Cuomo has signed a bill authorizing the use of federal funds for 3 small business programs, as well as the establishment of a new seed stage equity fund. The programs will help businesses on a variety of levels. The goal is to increase access to capital and create jobs. A new Siena poll shows that voters are divided over the New York State DEC's hydrofracking recommendations. In a poll of likely voters, 45% support the plan to allow gas drilling in a large portion of the Marcellus Shale. 43% oppose it. However, most people are more inclined to trust gas drilling opponents than supporters by a margin of more than 20 points.
Spruces that soared up to 100 feet until being toppled by the tornado, now cut into 12-foot logs and loaded for the 150-mile trip to the mill that will saw them into stockade fence boards. The 280-acre blowdown also includes pines and hardwoods, destined to become lumber and furniture.
While you never want to see a natural disaster hit one of the forests, it did represent an opportunity for the state to salvage some of the value that was in these standing trees. So,
Senior forester Chris Sprague says this literal windfall of $500,000 will help the DEC keep forest management self-sustaining. Workers began this job at the end of June. They'll be here for a couple more months.
Here the tornado blew everything down in a jumble, and they have to figure out how to untangle it and successfully drag or haul the wood out without damaging the wood or their equipment or themselves.
Well, it actually is getting a lot easier. It's easier than I thought it was going to be.
Darwin Burton runs the mechanized feller.
The way the wind blew everything over, it all kind of went the same way. So, you know, you get in there and you can pick 4 or 5 them at a time and do your job and move on to the next pile.
Coming along right after, skidding the logs to the loading zone, the other half of the crew. Machines magnifying the amount of work 2 men can do.
This mechanical mechanism stuff is the way to go anymore, you know. More production, safer, which is the biggest thing in our business, you know, is the safety.
Also being kept safe, as many of these as possible, to ensure that the destruction is also an opportunity for renewal.
And time now for Business Connection Classifieds, a look at some job postings in and around the area. The Association for Visual Rehabilitation and Employment is looking for a manager of new business opportunities. This person would be responsible for identifying new AVRE products and services which have the potential to grow employment opportunities for people who are blind or visually impaired. Products and/or services identified must enhance both the mission and profitability of AVRE. The position has a focus on enhancing federal and state government business, but commercial opportunity development is also expected. Some business travel will be necessary to perform the essential functions of the position. Please send your resume to Kevin Berger's attention at AVRE, 174 Court Street, Binghamton, New York, 13901. You can fax your resume to Kevin at 607-771-8045 or email kberger@avreus.org. As business grows, AVRE continues to create good jobs for legally blind individuals in various manufacturing, assembly, and packaging departments. These positions range from entry-level assembly and manufacturing to machine operators. AVRE offers competitive wages and benefits. Interested legally blind individuals should contact Kevin Berger, Accounting and Human Resources Manager, at 607-724-2428 or email him at avreinfo@avreus.org. WICZ-TV, a division of Northwest Broadcast Company Incorporated, has a job vacancy for a commercial producer. WICZ needs someone to write, shoot, and edit commercial and promotional production. College education is preferred. The candidate must have the ability to multitask under tight time constraints, work well with clients, and perform as a team player. Interested candidates should contact Vernon Rowlands, Operations Manager, WICZ, 4600 Vestal Parkway East, Vestal, New York, 13850. Phone contact is 607-770-4040 or email Vernon at wicz.com. And for more information on job postings, check out bizconnecttv.com/jobs. We'll take a break, but when we come back, there are some employees who just cannot escape the heat. Find out how they try to beat it, plus the latest bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it, thanks to our friends at Prendismo.com.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.
Welcome back. With the latest brutal heat wave just passed, there are those workers who cannot escape the heat. Instead, they have to try to find out how to beat it. Steve Craig has more.
Heat is third on that unofficial list of things that can't stop postal carriers, right after rain and snow, just ahead of gloom of night. There's nothing in there about hills and full sun, but 23-year veteran Jim Sissenstein takes those in stride too.
We acclimate, real quickly. I'll make sure I got my gear with me so that I'm prepared for just about anything.
For heat, that means standard issue shorts plus plenty of water.
They're doing a great job with it. They're really holding up well. It's a tough time right now.
And not just because of the heat. Summer is also peak vacation season, which means extra work for those left on duty.
I'd like to say that we could take it a little easier on them in this weather, but unfortunately that's not the case. The mail still has to be delivered. Customers still expect the service, so unfortunately they have a heavy workload right now.
Sissenstein, who's looking forward to his own vacation, doesn't mind.
Somebody takes, the opportunity to fill in for me when I'm off and take care of my customers, so I'm more than willing to do that for them too.
Our thanks to Steve for that. Time now to turn things over to our friends at Prendismo.com, partnering with entrepreneurs for success. And this week's bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it. Find out how success in business is nearly impossible without some failure along the way.
I think to have that confidence level, you have to accept the good and the bad. And when you have a mind shift or you change your mindset on what can happen and know that things won't always turn out well, but just keep pushing forward and having confidence in your past experiences. So what I do is on my wall, I have things that I've done well in the past. And I look at those things, everything from running for student government president back in undergrad to starting Great Black Speakers to doing many different types of summer programs. That keeps me grounded and makes me understand and makes me realize that I'm not a failure, even though I might have failed at one thing. I think about, I believe it was Thomas Edison that says to increase the rate of your success, increase the rate of your failures, because it took him thousands of times to find the right mold and model to create the light bulb. And Thomas Edison is one of the greatest inventors of all time, and we have to take that type of mindset that really successful people fail a lot, and knowing that that is the case, you can't lose your confidence during those failing times because you're missing your success for the future.
And that does it for this episode of the CNY Business Connection. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jason Weinstein. Have a good one.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.